Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the show. Today is a solo dolo episode of Mind Your Marketing. As always, I'm your host, Jordan Shelton. Today, we're popping into a couple topics largely around social media, and that's going to be Twitter now paying creators, really Threads bursting onto the scene, and what onto the scene. See, I know how to use words, and what that means. And then we're going to look at the phases of monetization among social media platforms, and that'll be at the end. So if you want to go to any of those, you're on YouTube, you can scroll to the chapter and check out each part. But let's start with the news today, and that is Twitter is paying out creators. So this happened last week with a lot of people sharing screenshots, and they were making thousands of dollars. Some of these people are making $10, $15, $25,000. It was wild to see these payouts happening. And there were a couple stipulations. One, the creators had to have over 5 million impressions on their tweets in the last 90 days, and they had to be subscribed to Twitter Blue. Now, in this, it was a ad revenue sharing model. So any of the ads that were shown in the replies to those users' tweets, they'd be eligible for money from. So if you had a tweet go super viral, they'll insert ads into the Twitter thread below it. You'd be eligible for a cut. So this came out last week, coincidentally, when Threads was picking up steam. So it's an interesting move from Twitter and from Elon. Now, there have been some critics that come out. The Washington Post came out and said, that far-right creators are being paid first and more frequently. I don't know if I buy all that, to be honest. I've seen a lot of people from both sides of the aisle talking about the money they made. So that's my anecdotal side of it. I would say go and investigate that for yourself. I also think some of the creators that were quote unquote deemed far right were maybe a little right, not far right. So that's my one little, dive into the politics of Twitter. Now, more so from a strategic standpoint and what that is for Elon. He is trying to keep creators on the platform and incentivizing them with big checks. This is because Zuckerberg is coming to play. He is here and he's playing to win. Zuckerberg launched and Meta team launched Threads 2 weeks ago now. In that time, they ramped to 100 million users within 1 week, and they've continued to grow. It is a direct Twitter clone. It is there to not only compete, but to try to beat Elon. And Zuckerberg came out and said he saw a hole in the market. There's a place for a text-based only app, and they wanted to make a place that was kind of depoliticized and more positive. So you're seeing actually news and politics be devalued on the platform and a push for more positivity. This is interesting. And I think that Threads is an interesting place in general. It's 100 million users, but we don't know how long this party's going to last. The party's just started, and we don't know what kind of night it's going to be, right? Are people going to leave early and go back to Twitter? Are they going to go back to Insta? Are they going to go back to LinkedIn, wherever they are? Are they going to hang around and continue to use Threads? I don't know. I can tell you in my case, I used Threads for a couple days, and when I logged in, it was Threads by Paris Hilton and a couple like massive celebrities, and the discovery was pretty bad, and it really seemed like it was jamming celebrities down my throat. So not the best content wasn't rewarded, just people who are the most famous. Now, this is famously opposite to what we saw with TikTok and how TikTok became so popular. One of the main reasons TikTok exploded was because content quality mattered more than anybody's individual fame. Now, of course, followers played into it a little bit, but content was sent out to the algorithm. They'd show it to a couple people. If people had a high watch rate or a high completion rate on that content, say they watched 80, 90% of it, they engaged with it, then they would serve it out to more people. Threads is just serving, and this is such a shame because they have so much data. They're just serving content from celebs is what it feels like. When I go on and it's, Jason Derulo saying, hitting the gym today, ? Like very, very low quality content, engagement bait stuff. Not a really good user experience, in my opinion. The other part of Threads that I think is a massive vulnerability is no desktop app. For text-based apps, a lot of Twitter users use their desktop. So this has been something that for me, I try to not be on my phone too much, although I love social media and I talk about it and I, work in it. I try to use the desktop apps more so. So it's interesting. I don't know what's going to happen. A lot of people rush to it. We'll see if they stick around. I have my doubts, but I also know Meta is a big beast. So I have a hard time betting against them. And Elon's super volatile, and he's fighting some random culture war when he should be worried about tech and how Twitter actually sets the culture. But that's a different discussion. Moving on, let's talk about the 3 phases of social media platforms, and more in particular, how they monetize. So I thought about this because if you're on LinkedIn, you probably noticed that LinkedIn reach literally, had the rug pulled out from underneath it. It is gone, gonzo. No more LinkedIn reach, especially not to what it was, over the past year. And this is honestly as for the course. So here are the 3 phases that social media platforms use to, 1, attract users, and then 2, how to actually get them to pay money and pay money for distribution. So initially, what they do, they incentivize users to post. This could be a couple of things. This could be paying users to post. So we saw this with Instagram Reels and their creator fund. We're seeing this now with Twitter actually paying people. Or it could be by giving people the chance to go famous or chance to go viral, or have content that really can get consistent reach and massive impressions. This is very much what we saw at TikTok's early days. LinkedIn for the last 18 or so months has been a place where if you have decent content, it'll get pretty good reach. And we see this across other platforms. Facebook has, toggled this up and down throughout its existence, and Instagram has done the same thing. Now, that's phase 1. Get people in, get people used to posting, reward them, dopamine hit with reach, impressions, engagements. Then, right when you honestly now would least expect it, or if you've been working in the industry, you might most expect it, they take it all away. The algorithm goes through a change. They say, sorry, we're valuing high quality content now in the For You page. And what they're really doing is they're getting the user who's become accustomed to a certain level of reach, they're getting them to crave that, to crave the reach. So when they take it away, the user is saying, what the hell? I'm used to getting all this adoration. I'm used to getting all these views. I'm used to seeing it drive, clicks to my website, followers, etc. And it causes an issue for them because they're not getting that anymore. So that leads us right into phase 3. They say, hey, you want all that reach that you had before? Well, we're happy to announce our new blah, blah, blah tool. It's going to be called Boost. It's going to be called Promote. It's going to be called whatever, where you can pay to get reach for your personal posts. This could be done by way of, hey, paying for verified and then get something. This is the playbook. TikTok is now in phase 3. You can, buy coins and use those coins to promote your content. Facebook's been there for a long time. Twitter is at phase 3. LinkedIn is going to get there. And LinkedIn is going to announce, I would assume soon, they'll probably call it creator tools or something, where it gives you the ability essentially to pay for distribution, pay for that reach, pay for impressions. That's what they're going to do. If we look at this whole thing as, hey, phase 1, I'm here to incentivize the users to post. I'm going to give them outsized value and outside return based on their activity. 2, I'm going to take it all away. 3, I'm going to get them into a pay-to-play situation. Now, as platforms struggle, they can go back up and down this ladder of phase 1, 2, 3. They can do that. You're seeing maybe Threads is in phase 1, and LinkedIn, as they start to lose things to Threads, they might go back to phase 1 and incentivize users to post like they're doing by paying creators. So it's all really up in the air when it comes to these platforms, but make no mistake about it, there are these phases and they operate in a way that's going to benefit them the most. So that's it for this episode. If you made it through this 10-minute solo dolo episode of Mind Your Marketing and you enjoyed it, look, this is my one thing I'm going to ask. Please hit that like, share, subscribe on this YouTube video. That does a world for us. just helping get this out to more people. It really does. And the podcast has been an interesting beast so far. A lot of you, have said, hey, this helps you not feel alone when we interview other CMOs or VPs of marketing. And you said, okay, I've had y'all reach out and say that. It's been really, really cool to see. So let's make sure we can get this show out to more people. And I said I was only going to ask for one thing, but I'm going to tell you about a second thing. If you are interested or in any newsletters, we just launched the Mind Your Marketing newsletter, which is an actionable tip for social media, and that drops every Thursday. A link to that will be below as well. If you're driving, just pay attention on the road. Don't try to click any of those links, and I'll see you next episode. Cheers.